We're going to get started. Thank you guys all so much for attending. Looking forward to an amazing chat. This is BizHack Live, our live webinar series where we explore issues in digital marketing every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. My name is Dan Gretsch, and I'm today's host, and I'm really excited that we're going to welcome Becca Sawyer, who's going to talk about how businesses can use TikTok to find their ideal customer online. A quick word about me. I'm the founder and CEO of BizHack. I actually spent 15 years as a journalist at NPR and PBS, the Miami Herald and Washington Post. I was part of a Pulitzer Prize when I was at the Miami Herald. I then transitioned into digital marketing, where I've worked for large companies and startups. And I am a Princeton alumnus, Fulbright scholar, and proud FIU Panther. Go Panthers. Our featured product at BizHack is the 5-week accelerated course for small businesses that we offer. And our next class is actually coming up in a few days. We'll talk a little bit more about the class towards the end, but I did want to let you know that we're going to have a 3 p.m. info session for anybody who's interested in the course. We're offering scholarships right now to female and minority-owned businesses, as well as female and entrepreneurs of color, and would love for you to be a part of that. If it's something that's of interest to you, go to try.bizhack.com/TikTok to register for today's info session. We've already given out nearly $20,000 in scholarship funds for this cohort alone. I also wanted to acknowledge our amazing partners, 2 groups that really serve the South Florida marketing community, South Florida IMA and Miami Marketers. Tomorrow, South Florida Integrated Marketing Association is actually hosting a session on LinkedIn Mastery. We're going to send you, if you registered or attended today, a link to actually attend that session, or you can go to try.bizhack.com/Safima. It's a great session, 90-minute session, has a small cost associated. Safima is also offering 6-month free membership for COVID-impacted marketers. If you're interested in taking advantage of that, just write membership@safima.com. Miami Marketers is a networking group. They're a little newer to the scene, and they primarily focus on the Miami area. So if you're interested in meeting other South Florida marketing professionals, you should request to join their Facebook group, and it's free. They also have an amazing podcast I'm going to be a guest on in a couple weeks. So definitely encourage you to be a member of Miami Marketers. I am on the board of Safima and a member of Miami Marketers, and I'm so grateful to you guys for helping promote today's event. You brought a lot of folks here. I'm also really grateful to all that you're doing to bring us together as a community of marketers here in South Florida. This is the BizHack Live webinar series. We started it during COVID because so many businesses realized that marketing, and specifically online marketing, was crucial to their success. Next week, we're going to be talking about business storytelling. The week after that, we're going to have the former Safima president talking about how to put yourself in the shoes of your customer. We're going to be doing Zoom mastery for marketing and sales with Rosemary Ravenel of Univision. And then we're going to be talking about mobile marketing in Latin America. And that's just the beginning of our amazing lineup that we have going through the rest of the year. Strongly encourage you to sign up to whatever you're interested in. You can do that at our website. Or if you like, sign up for a season pass and you can get all of them. And we'll send you reminders and follow-up recordings for all of them just with one registration. Finally, I want to introduce Becca Sawyer. Becca is the head of small business and operations for TikTok. She is a Miami native and was born in South Miami and lived here in South Florida until she was 10 years old, now resides in Austin. She spent a decade at Facebook, helping turbocharge their growth. When she started, they had 100 employees. When she left, they had 10,000. She's also worked as a small business consultant, and so really understands how small businesses work and how to support them in your journey. And we're going to be talking today specifically about how TikTok can be used to find new customers. TikTok is the fastest growing and one of the largest social media platforms in the world and in the United States. We've already taken a bunch of audience questions, and we're going to be addressing those after Becca's formal presentation. You can also send us panelists your questions, and with time permitting, we'll address your questions. Becca, unfortunately, cannot comment on the geopolitical issues right now that are facing TikTok with the Trump administration, or on any of the reports of a potential sale. Our focus today is really about TikTok for advertisers, how a small business can use TikTok to find new customers. Now, if you're an advertiser, you should care a lot about privacy and privacy issues. And so Becca has asked me to share this privacy policy statement from TikTok about how it does protect its privacies. As we've said repeatedly, we've never shared TikTok user data with the Chinese government and would not do so if asked, period. So we're not going to specifically address beyond this statement any of the privacy concerns that many of us legitimately have as potential advertisers on the platform. Rather, we're going to really focus about how to use the platform to find customers. In June, they introduced a self-service advertising platform very similar to what you see in Facebook and Google. And we're going to get a walk through that by Becca. She's going to talk about how you can use it to find your ideal target audience and how advertisers are actually using the platform to engage with their audience. And so without further ado, I want to welcome Becca Sawyer to BizHack Live. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks so much, Dan, for the intro and for having me today. I'm really excited to be here and really thrilled to see the turnout of so many of you joining us virtually to learn about how to grow your businesses with us on TikTok. And as Dan mentioned, we just launched our self-serve platform a few months ago, and very excited to share with you today a little bit about our product and how you can really start to think about how to get started in growing your business and creating a brand and name for yourself on our platform. So just quickly by way of introduction, I'm Becca Sawyer. I lead our small and medium business team for North America and Europe at TikTok. And certainly we believe that small businesses play such an important role in building and growing our communities, and really want to support and empower all of you in the small business community to get discovered and be able to grow your businesses on TikTok. So really hope that today's agenda is going to be a first step in helping you unleash your creative genius on our platform, and hoping that you really walk away from today feeling informed and inspired to get started in creating TikTok to grow your business. So just taking a quick look at our agenda, you'll see that we'll spend a little bit of time just with a general review of our user platform, our mission, and understanding our community a bit more. And then we'll share more on how advertisers of all types, all sizes, can connect with our unique community to really build their brand and their business using our newly launched self-serve ads platform that I mentioned. And certainly saving a portion of time to make sure that we really dig into our creative tools and some of our creative best practices. Creative, as you will learn throughout this session, is so key to success on our platform. So want to ensure that you walk away with a great understanding of how you can really be a great creator and storyteller on our platform. So just starting with our mission is simple, and that is really to inspire creativity and bring joy. And for anybody who's spent time on the platform, I think it's almost impossible to open up the platform and not, within even the first video, see something joyful and entertaining. It always brings a smile to my face. And it's diverse and it's unexpected. And I think that's what keeps people really coming back to our platform. And creating a positive experience for people really is at the heart of everything that we do. So TikTok is an entertainment platform, and it's bringing together millions of fans to create and discover fun through these enjoyable short form mobile videos. And let's take a look at one.
Man, I miss being a kid. Woo! This is the best day ever!
hopefully a little throwback to everyone's childhood there. And, trends on TikTok are really defining mainstream culture. So on TikTok, we are connecting everyday people and celebrities around shared experiences. And, these are the trends that are going viral and really shaping our mainstream culture. And everybody in the TikTok community is really an active participant in building the momentum for these experiences and these trends that are happening every day on the platform. So we like to say that we're flipping the switch on culture, and rather than everyone following what celebrities are doing, the reverse is happening as well.
Look, I just flipped the switch. Flip, flip. I don't know nobody else.
If you haven't partook in a flip the switch video, I highly encourage you to do so. So we're also a unique platform that connects real people, and it welcomes everyone to create videos and express themselves. It also welcomes all businesses of all types and all sizes to be discovered by our TikTok community. And the content that you'll see on TikTok is relatable, it's relevant and diverse. And as I mentioned before, I think there's something on there that will brighten everyone's day on the platform. Endless topics, from the silly to the inspiring to the educational to the more serious. And, at the heart and center of TikTok is really the creative and the content. And our users have created a unique community where real people are expressing themselves through jokes, through sharing ideas, how-tos, and so much more. And we think of brands in the same way that we think of our creators. So brands really have the opportunity on our platform to be creative storytellers, and it's an opportunity to be discovered by our community. So I've talked a lot about community, and I think that's the thing that really makes TikTok special, and want to spend a few minutes just taking a closer look at our community. I think TikTok's joyful tone and creativity has brought something really fresh and exciting to the world, and as such, it's captured the attention of millions of users. And as a platform, we have experienced such tremendous growth. Our US audience has over 100 million active users, which is double what it was this time last year. And we're continuing to see growth across every age group. Parents and families are enjoying TikTok as a shared experience. And our audience is showing us that they really have an endless appetite for video. And this is because TikTok is the personalized feed of full screen video. And we make sure that users are served a fresh batch of relevant content that's suited to their interests every single time they open the app. And on average, according to our third-party data, our users open TikTok 16 times a day and spend over 81 minutes on the platform. And this engagement actually equates to 300 billion video views on average each month. I think what we'll also see is that the audience is so highly engaged. According again to our third-party data, we're seeing that users are spending 407 seconds per session on TikTok. And if we compare that to other platforms, that's over 5 times the amount of time that's spent per session on platforms like Snapchat and others. And users are spending more time on TikTok per session than Facebook, than Instagram, than Twitter, and Pinterest. And lastly, TikTok brings together a segment of audiences that can't be reached on other platforms. So for advertisers, it provides an opportunity to engage with new audiences. And you have the opportunity to reach new audiences that may not be active on other platforms. Again, according to some of our third-party data, 49% of our users are not on Instagram, and 32% of our TikTok users are not on Snapchat. So I want to move into now talking a little bit about how small businesses can connect with our active community on TikTok to start growing your business. So as we start to talk about what it's like to be an advertiser on TikTok, I wanted to start with a great ad that was created by one of our customers, Slate & Tell, who's a small business. And they actually used one of our creative tools that we're going to talk a little bit about later in the session called Smart Video to create fun and engaging creatives for a spring promotion that they were doing. And they optimized this specific campaign for upper funnel events such as add to cart and product page views, and saw an increase in both performance and return on ad sales. Over the course of the campaign, they reached 4 million TikTok users. They had 1,000 single session add to carts and more than doubled their return on ad sales. And I think most interestingly, they actually met their goals within days on TikTok as compared to what had taken them months on other platforms that they were advertising on. Slate & Tell is a great example of the fact that any business of any size and any budget can utilize our in-feed video ads, such as the one that we just saw from them. And these in-feed video ads are going to appear in the personalized feeds of our community members. They're a great way for you to reach the TikTok community through fun and informative videos. And the variety of benefits that we will dive further into as it relates to our in-feed video product. This is an always-on buying method for you as an advertiser. You have the ability to target specific segments. The pricing for this product is calculated depending on demand. You have ultimate flexibility around creative testing. And you can also achieve a range of marketing goals, whether you're focused on driving awareness and site traffic for your business, increasing app installs for an app, or ultimately looking to increase conversions. We have full funnel advertising solutions that are available within the Ads Manager and the specific goals that you can select when setting up your campaigns on TikTok. So if your goal is awareness, you could run a reach campaign on TikTok to get your business discovered by as many people as possible. If your goal was more around consideration, you could run a traffic campaign to increase visits to your website. You could run an app install campaign to drive people to download your app, or a video view objective campaign to allow people to learn more about your brand. And lastly, conversion campaigns would allow you to run campaigns to drive whatever you define as the most important actions for your business. So this could be form submissions, purchases, or any other important conversion event. If you're just starting out on the platform, we'd recommend that you start with a traffic campaign or an upper funnel objective to really start building your brand and that awareness. So this is just a quick look at our targeting capabilities. And when choosing your target audience, you will have the ability to select from a variety of targeting options, be it gender, location, age, operating system, and more. So you can certainly choose the targeting that is going to be most relevant for your campaign, but certainly as a best practice, we recommend not going too narrow with your target audience. And particularly as a starting point, the recommendation is to keep the audience as broad as possible. So we often get questions about how is my ad actually going to be delivered? And what is the secret sauce behind the TikTok algorithm? So this gives you a little bit of an idea of how our auction is actually matching your ads with the best audience. So first, a request for ads is sent, offering criteria based on the specific user. And the algorithm begins to identify ad campaigns that match the criteria of that request and map the most relevant ads from the auction. And during the auction, then the algorithm is going to analyze all the relevant ad candidates and take into account everything from the targeting, the frequency, budgets, creative performance, and then select the winner from there. As we're going to spend more time talking about today, it's really important to note that on TikTok, ad creative plays such an important role in the auction performance and delivery of your campaigns. And in order to win the auction, as I had just previously mentioned, we're certainly going to need to understand the bidding strategy for a particular ad. And you'll need to place a bid for your in-feed ad, and you can bid according to these options that you see here. So CPM, CPV, CPC, or OCPC. And just quickly in terms of how they're different, if you're bidding on a CPM basis, that's certainly going to charge based on cost per 1,000 impressions. CPV based on the cost per video view. CPC is going to charge based on each of the clicks that you receive on your ad. So this would be a great option if you're directing the viewer to a landing page potentially outside the app. And lastly, OCPC, you'll set a bid for how much you're willing to spend for a particular result. And your billing will be based on the clicks that are ultimately driving those results. Now that we have an idea how the auction works, probably helpful for us to take a quick look at the foundation and structure of a campaign that you would set up on TikTok. So our TikTok Ads Manager has a 3-tier structure, which is made up of campaign, ad groups, and ads. And at the campaign level, you'll be able to select the objective that you'd like your campaign to optimize for. So this could be reach, video views, traffic, app install, or conversions. And this is also where you'll set up your campaign budget and name to help you easily identify the campaign in your dashboard later on. You can also control spending at the campaign level by setting the budget threshold here. Below the campaign level in the hierarchy, you're going to see the ad group. So think of the ad group as a bucket for the specific ads in your campaign. You can have multiple ad groups in each campaign, and all the ads which live in that same ad group are going to share the same ad placements, the same audience, schedule, optimization goals, and bid options. And finally, we have the lowest level in the campaign structure, which are ads. Ads are the creatives themselves, so the videos, images, and texts that will ultimately be displayed to the user on the platform. And you can have multiple ads in each ad group. So we can look here and see how this structure works in a real campaign. So for example, you might be an e-commerce company that's promoting new products on TikTok for sunglasses. And you might choose to set up 2 separate campaigns in your ad account. One might be focused on the website, one might be focused on the app. Within the website campaign, you could have 2 ad groups with different ads under each group. One ad group you might have chosen to gear towards a Labor Day holiday sale with different creatives for that particular ad group. The other group could be designed to focus on your new aviator line with different ads associated for that launch. So really this campaign structure is going to provide you with a way to segment your campaign by your creative, by your budget, demographics, and other factors. Let's move on to our optimization and measurement capabilities. Obviously, we know that measuring the results of your campaign is the most important thing that you care about to really understand the business impact. And we've developed our TikTok Pixel and Events Manager to help you do this. I can't emphasize enough how important it is and how valuable it's going to be for you understanding the impact of your campaigns to get the TikTok Pixel and Events set up. The pixel is going to be what allows you to optimize your ad delivery and improve the efficiency of your campaigns, and also allows you to leverage audience retargeting. Ultimately, you're going to be able to measure your ad performance by defining a set of events on your website. So for example, did the customer look at a product detail page? Did they add to cart, or did they purchase a particular product? The pixel is going to allow you to optimize ad delivery with the most valued event set as the optimization goal. So your campaign could, for example, automatically optimize to drive more add to carts based on which customers are adding to cart after being exposed to the ad that you've run. You can also create audiences based on your event funnel for remarketing. So if you wanted to take the audience of people who've added to cart on your website and promote your brand to others who have similar characteristics, we can accomplish this through the pixel and the use of custom audiences. This is just a quick snapshot of the pixel implementation process. So certainly we would recommend that you download and install the pixel helper that we have in our TikTok Ads Manager to make sure that your pixel is successfully installed and tracking is properly set up. But after you've installed the pixel, you'll want to choose an industry category and then create the events for the events tracking. And I'll emphasize here again, you must create your event and set up your event rules for the pixel to start tracking any data. If you haven't set these things up, then essentially the pixel isn't complete and you aren't going to be able to measure the results as we've talked about. So once you finish setting up the pixel, you can start creating campaigns and take advantage of those valuable performance measurement and audience targeting benefits that we've mentioned earlier. Now that we've done a high-level walkthrough of the TikTok Ads Manager, thought it would be helpful to maybe walk through a few of our pro tips before we dive into our section on creative best practices. So as we just talked about, certainly important once you've set up your account to not only make sure that you've set up your pixel, but to finish setting up the pixel events and rules. This will help you be able to optimize and track your campaigns. And as I mentioned, check out our Help Center for detailed instructions on how to get this set up in our Pixel Helper. If you're running a conversion campaign, we'd certainly recommend that you select the upper funnel event like an add to cart or a product page view as your conversion event. Thirdly, when it comes to setting your budget, ensuring that your daily budget is going to be at least 20 times what your target cost is for a conversion. If you set your daily budget too low, the campaign may actually stop delivering after you achieve just a few actions. And as we mentioned, as we talked through the targeting, it's really best to use the broad targeting to start. So start as broad as it makes sense for your business and allow the algorithms to really learn and find the highest performing audiences for your campaign. And lastly, as our lead into discussing more about creative, definitely encourage everyone to leverage our creative tools to keep testing and refreshing your ads. These are going to be extremely helpful in creating more combinations of ads to ultimately drive more results for your campaigns. So if there's one thing to really take away from today's conversation, I think it's that the biggest difference between TikTok and how our algorithm works versus how other platforms work is that our algorithms are built on a content graph versus a social graph. So content and creative is really how our algorithms learn, and that is at the core of what's fueling the discovery of people and businesses. It is one of the most important ingredients to a successful campaign, and that's why we've been really focused on building creative tools that will help you design those fun, engaging, and high-performing creatives. So we're going to take a brief look at 4 of the creative tools that we offer today that are going to allow you to really easily create video ads on TikTok and that are going to help you automate the creative design and optimization process. The first tool that we'll walk through is called video templates. So video templates make it incredibly easy to create video ads. All you are going to need to do is to choose a template, and you can upload your existing photo assets, some text, and a logo. And the tool is then going to take your assets and turn them into a video with music and effects and transitions. And this requires 0 video editing skills, which I think is probably a huge win for a lot of small businesses, certainly who don't always have a lot of marketing resources at their disposal. We have over 60 available templates for you to use with different effects, transitions, and hundreds of songs in our commercial rights free music library that are available within the app. So again, all you need is those few existing images, your logo and text, and you're ready to get started using our templates. So the second tool that we have is our Smart Video. And Smart Video is powered by our AI technology. And it's going to combine clips, photos, music, text, effects, filters, you name it, to make multiple creative variations to use in your campaign. So with Smart Video, you'll be able to upload 1 or multiple images and videos, and the Smart Video technology is then going to automatically analyze those videos and choose the clips and music to produce ready-to-go videos that you can use in your campaign. And the way that it works, the tool is actually going to analyze the tracks and the rhythm of the music and add video transition effects to match with the beat of the music. And it will generate batches of videos all with different styles at the same time so that you can create videos in bulk to expand your video creative variations. It's very important, as we've been discussing, to have a variety of creative for your campaigns. So this tool, Smart Video, is really perfect for being able to scale your content into multiple versions of creatives from just one set of starting resources. The third tool that we have is our Smart Video Soundtrack. For anybody who's spent time on TikTok, they know that music is a really special part of TikTok's creative DNA. And as you've noticed, when you're on TikTok, it is a sound on environment. The rhythm, the style, the mood of your ad, those are all going to be key to engaging with customers and building a strong image for your brand. If you don't have audio in your video, or you might not be sure what songs to use, the Smart Video Soundtrack is actually going to add music for you. And as I've mentioned, we offer hundreds of soundtracks to choose from across all different genres of music. So ultimately, you'll be able to upload your video and the system will automatically select the most appropriate music based on your content. And from there, you can then fine tune the audio to adjust it and merge it and come to the creative creation that suits you and your brand the best. And the last and arguably the most powerful tool that we have is the Automated Creative Optimization Tool, also known as ACO. And ACO is extremely effective in making you more efficient while also helping your campaigns perform better. So what ACO is going to do is it's going to take a set of existing videos that you can upload to the platform, and then you can choose different text options and different call to actions. And ACO is going to multiply your creative and help you find the best performing version of all of the combinations that it's going to create for you. So ultimately, it's going to help deliver the best ads and provide more stable delivery performance and a longer delivery cycle for your campaigns. This is a quick behind the scenes of what is actually happening with our ACO tool. So on the left, we're looking at the assets that you would upload, and you might start with uploading a few videos and a couple pieces of text or copy, and ultimately picking one or two call to actions. Maybe choose a learn more or a download now. You can certainly choose to test more variations of any of these things, but this is certainly a great starting place. If we look what's then happening in the center of the screen here, the system has now created different combinations of video with the copy, with the videos, and with the different call to actions to create ultimately different versions of the ads. And then once the system creates those ads, if we look on the far right-hand side, the tool is going to do the work for you of automatically optimizing and picking the winning creative over time based on performance metrics like CTR and conversion rate. So again, all you're really going to need to use the ACO tool is a few videos, some text, and those call to actions. And we'll ultimately end up in a place that the best performing creative will keep running, while the creative combination that might not be performing as well when it comes to the CTR and CVR will automatically be paused. So hopefully now that you see the tools that you have at your disposal that are going to help you easily design and multiply the creatives using the assets that you have, wanted to spend a little bit of time just talking about how creative itself really works on TikTok and some of the tips and best practices to make sure that you're able to launch successful creatives. As we've discussed, the algorithm is built around a content graph instead of a social graph. So content is going to succeed or fail based on its quality instead of popularity or celebrity status or even high-end design and production. We've seen over and over from our community that the community prefers imperfection. And TikTok is constantly evolving to show you the content that we think that you'll like. So consequently, you all as advertisers need to be thoughtful about the content that you produce. And successful content and advertising really takes advantage of our full screen video and sound on environment on TikTok. You have a richer set of tools at your disposal, but this also means that sound and video really are table stakes for success on the platform. All the content on TikTok today is video in some form. And that's whether it's original content that's created with TikTok's native editing tools or adapted photo and video content that's augmented with the use of some of the TikTok advertising tools that we just discussed. Here's some of the examples.
Looks miserable.
You have a box of your personalized vitamin pack.
It's also personalizing up where it says your actual name.
As you probably just noticed from these videos, sound also plays a similarly important role in all the content on TikTok. Sound, music, and narration are not the secondary or nice to have components like you may have experienced on other platforms or websites. So really consider how can music bring your content to life, and also how can the sync of the visual and the audio create a bigger impact for your brand. And you've probably noticed that beyond the use of the full screen video and sound and music, the content on TikTok ultimately shares a similar look and feel and a do-it-yourself style of production. This is true for the organic content on the platform and also very much of the successful advertising that shows up in feed. And that's really because much of this content is developed using TikTok apps editing tools and also the in-app camera. So let's maybe do a quick review of what we've learned it's important to consider for our in-feed video advertising beyond just the basics about video and sound. And we'll look at a few of these examples. So first, starting with how do we utilize vertical video? And this is really about using TikTok's ad creative tools to adapt our existing non-vertical video into a vertical format. And really to maximize the user and the brand experience, all video assets should look as native as possible and fit into the ad specs.
Delivery for Brandon?
Wow, I'm so glad I didn't have to leave my house to get this.
Well, that's what we do over here at Grubhub. Have a good night.
I love you.
What was that?
Nothing, I didn't say anything.
Another important consideration is really about keeping your videos short and focused. The video must be under 15 seconds, but we recommend approximately 10 seconds to retain the user attention. And the videos that we see perform the best on the platform really are highlighting the key message or product within the first few seconds of the video. And in terms of high impact visuals, starting with that high impact visual is going to keep the users really hooked into continuing to watch. There's a ton of engaging content on the platform, and being aware that users can easily swipe to the next video is important for you as you think about what is going to be that hook that's going to keep users watching your video.
Why should you be a Swasu dog? This is where it all begins. Those look like pretty great reasons to me.
And lastly, emphasizing the importance of a strong call to action. So if you want users to perform a specific action, encourage them to do so clearly and directly in the caption or in the native call to action button that we offer. So hopefully some of these examples have helped spark some creativity for all of you and certainly have leveraged our creative best practices. I'd certainly encourage you to incorporate these as you get started creating your first TikToks. And ultimately, the best thing that I can encourage everybody in the audience today to do is to just spend time on TikTok as an end user. I think it's honestly one of the best sources for inspiration and trends that you can incorporate into your creative and helps you really get to know the community. The most successful ads on TikTok don't look like ads. They look and sound like TikToks. So I just wanted to wrap up and again, thank you everybody for their time and also just share a little bit about our Back to Business program. So certainly as a community that's been greatly impacted during this time, we at TikTok have been very committed to helping SMBs around the world weather this crisis and have provided $100 million in ad credits to help companies get back on their feet and start rebuilding. We truly believe that small businesses are the lifeblood of our community, and we want to be there to provide support as they start that rebuilding process. Our TikTok Back to Business program is available globally, and any small business can apply for the credit and get started. I've shared the link here, but can certainly follow up after our conversation today and share the important materials that you would need to get started with our Back to Business program. With that, I will turn it back to Dan.
Well, thank you so much. You know, we've had a lot of activity in the chat. Folks are asking questions. We have some pre-asked questions from folks that were submitted ahead of time. You know, with your permission, in addition to my first question, I wanted to actually do a quick lightning round. These are all very kind of tactical questions that I think you can run through pretty quickly. Some of them you addressed in the presentation itself. They're all related specifically to like budget and length of video and so forth. I just want to reinforce some of the best practices you talked about, if that's okay. So you had mentioned best length of the video has to be shorter than 15 seconds, but you recommend 10 seconds or less?
Yes, and your most compelling grab and call to action really within that first 3 seconds.
Perfect. You mentioned an approximate budget is 20 times your target cost per conversion. So could you put that into English?
Yes, so if your target cost per conversion is $1, you should set your daily budget at $20.
And what is a cost per conversion for those folks who might not know?
So the cost per conversion would be the amount that you as an advertiser are willing to pay for whatever you've defined as your key conversion activity. So it might be, you know, getting a user to sign up on your website. It could be to purchase a product. That's really up for you to define, and then also to define what that value is to you so you know how much you're willing to spend.
Perfect. A little bit of marketing gobbledygook, right? I saw in the age category that it said 13 plus. Does that mean that you as an advertiser can target folks under age 18?
I would have to check on our current targeting buckets. I don't know off of the top of my head, but let me follow up on that and get back to you.
We also had some questions both about Latin America and US Hispanic market targeting. I don't know if that's a little too specific for this presentation, but if you would be able to get back to those, back to us on those as well, that's interesting to our audience.
Yeah, for sure. I think, you know, our Latin America market is not online yet from an advertising perspective. It is a rapidly growing user community for us. So excited to see what that holds for us in advertising in the future.
Got it. So this is only advertising it for the US market?
Right now, yes. And our self-serve tool is open in other markets around the world at this point as well. Some markets in Europe and other places, but I think for the sake of relevance for this audience, probably the US market is most relevant.
Yeah. You know, Latin America is one of the cheapest markets for Facebook advertising. And so we're really excited to see you open it up into Latin America. How about the US Hispanic? Do you allow targeting of specific ethnic or demographic groups?
Not that I'm aware of right now, but again, let me double check on that and follow up with more on there.
Perfect. Are you allowed to, you obviously talked about content best practices. Are you allowed to do static or banner ads, or do you have to make them basically look like TikToks?
Yeah, so definitely from a ad spec and policy perspective, certainly keep things in line with how our native and organic content feels on the platform. And some of the tools that we walked through today are really aimed at helping lower that barrier to entry, right? You know, sometimes video might seem a bit intimidating, especially if it's not something you're using on other platforms. So, you know, our tools really help you take some of those assets that you might be using other places and turn them into something that feels much more native and in line with our organic TikToks on the platform.
I mean, what I would say to anyone considering a static banner ad on TikTok is, why the heck are you advertising on TikTok with static banner ads? When you take a few photos, a little bit of text, and some videos, and you can have them create a much more compelling piece of content through AI. I mean, really, if you look into what TikTok's true innovations are as a social media platform, it's really around kind of automated content creation, and even kind of like Facebook's copycat doesn't do nearly as well, despite all the resources Facebook can bring to bear in creating content that's really responsive to the music and to the specifics of the content. They've really, you know, TikTok's kind of secret sauce is that automated AI-powered creation tool, and you might as well leverage it and make much more compelling ads that are much more likely to convert. Influencers, can you access influencers directly through your advertising platform?
So we do have a creator marketplace where advertisers, if they are interested in working with creators, can choose to search for creators who would align with their brand and, you know, what they're choosing to promote. Certainly seen lots of businesses take advantage of working with our creator community, and the creator community is something that I think also really speaks to the uniqueness of the community on TikTok. A very engaged part of our community, and again, those partnerships that they're building with businesses are super important. So if people are interested in learning more about that, I definitely recommend that they check out the creator marketplace that we have online.
Now to go to the questions that we had submitted ahead of time. Now these are, you know, what kind of business is best suited to advertise on the TikTok platform? I got a lot of questions about B2B versus B2C, product versus consumer. Most of what I was seeing are consumer-oriented, product-based advertisers, but maybe you could address what type of business tends to be an early adopter in terms of advertising on TikTok?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're really seeing a huge variety of different brands and businesses across all objectives, all sizes. And I think hopefully what people are taking away from today is, you know, our community is incredibly diverse, and it's an opportunity for anyone, regardless of their business, to really have an opportunity to be discovered and to transform how they're able to tell their story to the world. And, you know, that's what I think makes TikTok very special, and is very inclusive of any brand or any business that's looking to engage and truly join part of the conversation, right? This is about getting to know the community, getting to understand what's relevant to the community, and then how to not distract people from that, but to truly be a part of it.
Do you know what the age range is of the average TikTok user?
So the stats that I pointed to earlier, we can't share publicly what the specific age ranges are, but across all of our segments of users right now, we're seeing growth across all of those age categories, which is really great to see. And again, I think really just reinforces that TikTok is a place for everyone and is really a growing and diverse community.
You know, for those of you, like, Becca may disagree with what I'm about to say, but I think in general, for those of you who have a younger audience and more of a consumer product-based business, TikTok is definitely a place for you to look. For those of you who don't fit into those categories, you know, you may still use TikTok successfully, but it isn't necessarily the first platform I would go as an instructor. I wanted to ask a question from Victoria Oneto from Alta Developers. What is the biggest setback compared to other platforms when advertising on TikTok?
You know, I think we talked a little bit about the fact that video can potentially seem intimidating, and hopefully we've broken that down a bit today to show the tools that we are providing to help remove any of those fears or barriers to entry. But also, I think, you know, the fact that we are a new platform and we're a new player to the table. So if brands are not familiar yet with how our community engages with content, that can be a bit intimidating as well. So, you know, that's why I've said spend time just getting to learn the platform, getting to learn the community, understanding what's important to them, and then really figure out how to plug into that conversation, and hopefully that will take away the intimidation factor.
I'm going to say another thing that Becca can't say, which is all software is buggy. Even Facebook, which has been around for years, is terribly buggy. I would say about 1/3 of the folks who advertise on Facebook in our courses have problems with literally software issues. So you got to imagine that any new software, this has only been out since June, is going to have some bugs, and maybe more bugs than some others. Obviously, Becca, please, is going to disagree with this, but I will also say that LinkedIn, until it was acquired by Facebook, really had challenges with its software as well. And so I think, what makes TikTok really exciting from a brand perspective is the possibility of massive organic reach. And because it's so content driven rather than follower driven, as an advertiser, you have, if with just even your organic content, a much higher likelihood than with Instagram or Facebook to reach outside of your traditional network if your content kicks ass. So that's sort of where I'd be focused, which is frankly what Becca's recommending as well. Eleanor Jimenez from NBC Universal LATAM asked, is there a way to monetize pay that allows you to go on for your page?
So the in-feed ads that we were talking about today, those are delivered as part of the For You experience. And I think, Dan, to add on a little bit to what you were just explaining in terms of the opportunity to go viral and have that reach, I think if we look at the For You page from an organic standpoint, it'll give people a little bit of color really on how the platform works and how the algorithm works. So when a video is uploaded to TikTok, the For You algorithm is going to show it first to a small subset of users. Those people may not follow the creator already, but based on previous interactions with similar content, these users we think are probably more likely to engage with the video. And if they respond favorably, this is when the magic really starts to happen. So they might share the video, they may watch it in full, and then it starts to be showed to more people who have similar interests. So that process begins repeating itself, and if that positive feedback loop happens enough times, the video can go viral from there. And for anybody who's spent time on TikTok, they've probably seen some of these videos that have, overnight jumping to millions of views and engagements. I personally have not had a TikTok video go viral yet, so hoping that I will learn that in my time here. But it's pretty fun to see how so many of our users have just created content that's really capturing the world.
Eleanor Ho from Walkstar asked, how is your ad served so it stands out?
Yeah, so I think, part of the reason we spent time today on the creative best practices, really, again, just focusing on understanding what's important to the community, how to really create content that's going to stand out within the community, and really focus your efforts around that creativity. Get creative with the effects that we offer, with the tools that we offer. That's ultimately what is going to help your advertising be successful.
Perfect. And one quick point of information, LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft. I may have misspoken about that. Finally, Victor Amy of Verb Company says, we are a marketing agency. How should I pitch TikTok to our customers, his clients?
Yeah, I think, a number of things that I would certainly mention here. Certainly, TikTok has become the preferred platform for expression amongst a very mobile savvy audience that we have today. And as we've been talking about, it is that way to reach broader audiences and not just to create, but really to be discovered. And, certainly in terms of the ad offerings that we have and the community that we have, TikTok is a place to let brands express their content and their voice creatively, reach those new audiences, build brand affinity, and achieve whatever their objectives might be. If that's, again, driving traffic off platform or driving sales, driving app installs. And ultimately, I hope that any business that's coming on TikTok is really embracing the opportunity to be a creator and to be a storyteller and really just become a valuable part of our community.
You know, I just wanted to say thank you so much, Becca, for your amazing presentation. We're able to fund these amazing free community events through our primary offering, which is the Digital Marketer's Edge course. And I wanted to encourage all of you to apply to this course. This is a course that will show you how to advertise online on places like TikTok and really understand some of the technical stuff that Becca reviewed. Our average participant makes money while they actually take the class and pay for the tuition. We go through 5 pillars for all digital campaigns, consistent completely with what Becca mentioned. We cover all of these TikTok topics. TikTok is not yet a part of the curriculum, but it soon will be. And really the idea is for you to run real life campaigns with the help of one-on-one coaching while you learn. You'll get a certificate of completion at the end and 28 hours of live in-person instruction led by the amazing Alex Carvalho, formerly of IBM and Constant Contact, and our great marketing coach team. We're gonna have a scholarship info session today at 3 p.m. Strongly encourage you to attend if you're interested in applying for the scholarship or enrolling in the class that starts on Monday. And with that, I just wanna say thank you to Becca, thank you to Kelly, thank you to our community. We had about 150 people today. Really pleased at how you've come out and supported our Miami native Becca Sawyer as she makes it big at one of the world's largest social media platforms. We'll all be watching to see what happens in the news with TikTok and the potential acquisition and all the geopolitical stuff. And we'll all be playing with the platform and using the $300 ad credit to start advertising our businesses on TikTok. Becca, any closing words to your Miami audience?
No, just thank you so much for having me, and certainly looking forward to hearing how people get started on TikTok. And we're at the early stages of our product, so any feedback and comments that can help us get better, we're always looking to hear that from our community.
Yep. And I just wanted to also thank our sponsors again, Safima, who has an event on LinkedIn coming up tomorrow, which I mentioned at the top, as well as the Miami Marketers. Thank you guys for bringing your audience to today's event. It was awesome to partner with you, and I look forward to partnering again on future events. Thanks again, Becca. We'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it.